Maria, for starting the recording. It's great you're here, and I will just invite you to switch your cameras on if you can, if you're in that situation. Even if you're not in that situation, it's still much better. It's just nice to see each other, and we'll be also using using it, our image, see each other. So that's really nice. Thanks, Karula, for complimenting on the Hungarian language in the chat. I don't know if it sounds very good, if you don't understand it. I really can't tell, but I enjoy listening to Greek. Anyway, and what you were hearing was a band called Big Thief, who I like very much. So anyway, what we're going to do today is develop a little bit further what we had done before. We talked last time, we focused very much on teacher enroll. I'll be just going through a little bit of that again, what we were doing last time, just to remind us. Last time is 2 days ago. For those who were here, some of you might be joining who were not here 2 days ago. Can you just show a thumbs up if you were not here on the previous session? Agi was not here. Anyone else who was not here? Letizia, nice that you're here. Thank you. Of course, I remember Karula and Sylvia and Sigrun and Lucia were here. Gaia, am I pronouncing your name correctly? And Angeliki, were you here 2 days ago? Are you here now? If you can just throw us a sign. Anyway, so we'll start with a game. And for that, we will need our cameras. It's a very simple game, and you don't need to speak to be able to play this game, because it's a very simple game and we'll be using signs. Does everyone know the stone, paper, scissor game? Okay, so this is an online version of the stone, paper, and scissor. Everyone knows the 3 signs. Do you know which one is strongest? Well, none of them is strongest, but stone is stronger than the paper. And the scissor is stronger than the stone is stronger than the scissor, sorry. And the paper is stronger than the stone. And the scissor is stronger than the paper. So what we'll do is we'll be playing with each other. But I will count you in and we'll do stone, paper, scissor, and you have to show a sign. Okay? And what we'll do before we show a sign is I'll ask you to choose someone you're going to play against. And when you know who you are playing against, that person might not be playing against you. So I might choose Sigrun, but Sigrun might be playing with Agi. Sorry, that's how they're on my screen. So we'll do stone, paper, scissor, and although Sigrun doesn't know it, she's showing stone and I'm showing paper. So I win against Sigrun. That's how I thought. And I'll stay in the game. Okay? If I would have shown scissor, then I would have lost. And I would just switch off my camera and fall out. So everyone's playing whose camera is on. You can play against them. Is that clear? Is that okay? So we'll be showing the sign together. Let's do a trial version, okay? First, choose someone, one person who you are playing against, okay? Has everyone chosen someone? Karula, have you chosen someone? Okay, don't have to say who you chose.
No, I didn't.
Now, quickly choose someone. Letizia, choose someone.
I see only 2 or 3.
Okay, so what you need to do for this game is, if you go on the view, right on top, button where you have
Yes.
little dots beside that and put it on
Yeah.
gallery view. Okay? So
Yes,
put
I did
your,
it.
or if you're
Oh,
watching on
yes.
the phone, then just swipe it, I think, to the left, and then you'll come to a
Yeah.
gallery view with all the people on the image. I like this because then I can see everyone at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So please choose someone.
I'll play
I've
with the
chosen.
teacher
Okay.
if she wants to.
I've chosen someone. Everyone chose someone, and then let's try it out. So we'll count back, and for 3, I'll say stone, paper, scissors. And please show what your sign to the as a camera. Okay. If you have lost, has anyone lost now? I
I
haven't.
don't know.
I was playing against Sylvia, and she's showing paper as well. Sylvia, who were you playing against?
Okay, so I will, but I still see only you, all right? So I can't. I
If
don't know
you're,
how to do it.
are you on the phone?
Yes, I'm on the phone.
I think you need to swipe the phone, and then you'll
Oh
come
yeah, that's
to the
right.
gallery
Yes, I
view.
have it
Okay?
now. Yeah, beautiful.
Okay. So let's try it again. Sorry. Letizia,
Mhm.
were you sad because you lost against someone? Okay. You don't fall out. That was just a practice one.
Yes,
So,
I saw the Sylvia.
aha.
Mhm.
I
And
followed
you,
Sylvia.
okay, okay. So,
And
let's try it now. Go for it. Okay. So choose someone.
Mhm.
Everyone can see everyone. Choose someone. Don't have to say who you chose. You are playing against them. And we'll go stone, paper, scissors, and show what you're showing. Oh, shit. I was playing against Agi and she dropped me out. So now I'll switch my camera off. And if you've dropped out, then you can take your camera, switch your camera off. If you haven't, that's great. Here comes the second round. Meanwhile, I'll take my jumper off because the game is so heated. So you'll choose against someone who you are playing against. It can be the same person or a different person. Their camera needs to be on. And now we'll count back. Stone, paper, scissors, and show your sign, please. So, how are you doing? If you have lost, then you have to switch your camera off. If you haven't lost, then keep your camera on. Okay. Oh, doing well, doing well. Okay. So now choose again someone. Last round. Ooh, only 2 people left. 3 people. Okay. So you have to choose someone who you're playing against, and we'll count back. Stone, paper, scissors. Ooh, okay. Anyone lost against anyone?
Me.
Lucia, you must have lost against someone.
Yeah, I've lost, but I can't find the way to switch off my camera.
Okay.
This.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. So there's a last round between Carula and Letizia. Let's see. Let's see who wins. Stone, paper, scissors. They can't. So they're both the winners. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Let's switch our cameras back if you're here. And there are a whole lot of these games. If you are ever teaching online, there are a whole lot of games devised during COVID, sort of improv games, very simple games. I used to play a lot with my students during COVID as well, and I was trying to find these games, and you can find them on the internet as well. I searched, there was a few channels on YouTube that were sort of really working on how to do these games. And it just brings a little bit of fun into these terrible boxes that we are sitting and looking at through at each other. So, Lucia, please feel free to switch your camera back on if you can. And I'm inviting the others as well to switch their cameras off if they can be. And I know Calliope said, she's unable to switch it on. I can understand that as well. It's great you're still here. So I'll just bring some a little bit of feedback on where we were for the previous session. Just go through what we were doing then. And I'll just share the screen, and I'll also move it to, yeah. So, are you seeing the full screen, or are you seeing the other version of my PPT?
I can see the whole, how to say it, PPT, not only like the shared screen.
Not only the shared screen. Okay, let me do it again. That usually happens with me. I don't know why. I have to share it twice and then it works fine. So we were going through, we talked about these two guys and about the difference and the similarities between improvised child play and theater. And that was quite a fruitful and interesting discussion. We reflected on different forms of drama and how they connect, and different elements of drama, games and improvisational dramatic play and theater elements are used in drama in education. They mix together based on the theory of Gavin Bolton. We talked about the general causes of drama and key elements. We looked at some specific forms of drama, but basically what we tried out was working with teacher in role. And we were looking at this image and exploring some possibilities that are there in this image. And I asked you also to think about a specific subject lesson that you might be teaching in the near future, a content, some material from that, so that we can, towards the end of this session, come back to talking or thinking, brainstorming together on what are the forms that we look at today that can be used in that. Actually, I'm doing a little bit of campaign for working in role, because I think that's actually a very powerful way of learning, of understanding, being in the situation, and it brings forward the possibility of engaging with your body and your emotions and your feelings as well to a content. So how do you do that? How can you bring in the participants so that they are in role as well? And we talked a little bit about the three different forms of teacher in role. And we didn't talk so much about the different status that's possible to use, but we'll come back to that. And I'll stop here because what we are going to do today is a little bit different. I thought it might be useful to start out with some experiential drama. Okay, so I'll just do a very short drama lesson, if you don't mind. Just trying something out with you, and let's see how it goes. So it's great if you're switched on, but if your camera is switched on, but if your camera is not switched on and you have something to say, please add that into the discussion, bring that in, or write that in the chat. But I'll be inviting you to do something practical, because then we can reflect on that. Not because it's something very, very special. Actually, it's quite simple what we're going to do. Okay? So what we're going to do together is make a little bit of a story. And we'll look at how that goes, what we can do with it. It's within the confines. I find it really hard to work online, but that's what we have to do. So we'll work online. I really enjoy meeting in person, but let's see what we can still do online. Okay. So I'll be beginning a story. I'll be inviting you into role. I'll be inviting you into the role of being members of a helpline, a community that helps other people who are in trouble, okay, in trouble of some sort. And I'm inviting you to be one member of this fictional group, as helpline members. Okay, and I will just start a small meeting with you, yep, a small meeting with you, and I will step into role. Just join in when you feel you are happy to join in. Okay, can we go? Is that okay? So, colleagues, thank you for this meeting today. I know we are having a lot of distressed calls and all sorts of different problems. Young people and older people calling us with different problems, and I'm really grateful that you're doing such a fantastic job with looking after people. I know it's quite difficult, and we have to cope with a lot of things. I need to ask your help actually with one case. There's a I actually, it's not even a letter that I got, but it's a video, and I can't decide whether this person who sent me the video needs help or not. And I thought, I mean, you're really you have expertise. You have been doing this for many years. Can you please look at this? Can I share this video with you? Can I show you this video? It's from a guy called Peter, I think. That's the name. It's a guy called Peter, and I just shared this video with you. And can you just look and tell me if this person is in trouble or it's just a mistake that they've sent this to me? Please have a look. Please have a look at this video. Yeah, I'll just go here, and I don't know if. Oh, let me just. Sorry, I will just check something. I just want to see if, because the sound is very strange. Yeah, share. I just thought I hadn't done that. So I'll just share this video with you if you don't mind, and just tell me what you think.
Hey.
What do you think? It's really strange. I can't decide whether this was a mistake that this was sent to me through the helpline, or is someone just playing with us or playing with me? What did you see? What's on with this guy? What's happening with this guy, with this person?
This person is out of the world, I think.
What do you mean? What do you mean out of the world?
Looks like not really awake. Maybe maybe some medicine, or I don't know. Maybe he needs help.
Oh, okay. So do you think maybe he's you taking some medicine or on some medication or some drugs? Do you mean?
No, could be. Looks like he's out of the world.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if others agree with that, or do you think there is what did you see? Yeah.
I don't think that he's having a problem, because he would have he would have told you something in the video if he wasn't really in need.
It's bizarre.
I think it's just kind of not a trick, but it's a sort of joke.
Maybe it's a joke. Yes. It's. I mean, he didn't say a word. I see. That's why I'm not understanding what's going on. Yeah, what's the sense of others? I don't know what you think. I mean, one of you is saying that may he might may he might need real help. He might have a real problem. Someone else is saying that it might just be a mistake that this was sent to me. What's your sense of it?
I think that he looked astonished of something on his face because he was checking his eyes, maybe because there was something different from the normal situation. He looked behind him as if he didn't recognize the place where he was. So maybe he feels puzzled about something, but he himself doesn't really know what's the problem.
Yeah.
And
oh, so you're saying
so
maybe that's why he's not speaking, or that's why he's not saying because he himself doesn't know what the problem is, but he's sensing
yeah,
some issue.
also these maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe because he can't speak, he just sent the video. It's difficult. It's a tricky video. It's a tricky question, Bruce.
I mean, how do you recognize someone who is in trouble? What are the signs? How do you recognize someone is in trouble? Do people always know they're in trouble? I don't know. That's why I'm trying to ask your help. Karula, you're looking very thoughtfully. Do you have any thoughts on that, colleague? I know you have been helping people for many years.
It gave me the impression that is either on drugs, in use of something, or drunk. Usually people who are drunk, they have that look, not knowing where they are, who they are. And he was looking and testing his eyeballs in a very particular way.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't his eyes, someone else. I don't know. And he's looking back, trying to remember where he is. The bathroom, okay, but he doesn't recognize that bathroom, I think.
I have a sense that I do need to try to contact this Peter person just to check
if he's okay.
If he's okay. I mean, maybe there is no problem at all, as Agi was saying. But maybe he's he needs some sort of help, and that's why he sent this. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Letizia or Sylvia, any thoughts? Any thoughts? If I contact him, what should I try to ask? What should I try to find out?
Maybe he's on morning, so he woke up a few minutes ago and don't know where he is and send to you for a mistake.
Yeah. So you're thinking, he could either be drunk or maybe it's just early morning. And, sometimes people are like that in the morning.
He isn't drunk or on drugs, only early morning.
Yeah. Great. Well, that's possible. Thank you. I think from just based on your advice, I think it's better just to contact, just to find out, make sure whether it's just a difficult morning or whether, he's really needing help. Thank you. I'll just stop there with the improvisation. And Calliope, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I would like to say that yes, but it isn't our job to be certain that nothing happens to him, so we should contact him anyway.
Yes, I think that's important that we can't decide instead of others. What I'd like to ask you to do is we can step out of role of this of these people. Sorry, I just let someone in, and what I'd like to ask you to do is to we'll just go into 3 different breakout rooms, and I'd like to ask you. Well, I'll just put us into 2 breakout rooms, and I'd like to ask you to think of what a very specific idea of what sort of trouble, what sort of difficulty would people approach this these this center, this helpline. What sort of messages would they get? And if you can just spend 3 or 4 minutes in the breakout room and think about what specific person is he? A young person? Sorry. What I'd ask you to do is, if you're in breakout room number 1, think about a teenager. What sort of problem would they approach the helpline with? If you're in room number 2, can you please think of a person who is in their 20s, a young person, not a teenager, but a young person, and what sort of problem would they approach? Just be specific, just decide on one. So you're writing the story now, you'll have to make choices. So room number 2 is person in their 20s. Room number 1 is a teenager. What sort of problem would they approach the helpline with? Okay, I know it's difficult if we don't define a country, but maybe because I'm doing that because we are from different places. I think try to choose a problem that could be similar in different countries as well. I think there are such problems, such differences. So I'll open all the rooms, and I hope you'll have someone who's active, and also you'll have some people who are less active. But please decide when you're there. Okay. So I think Hi, everyone who's just joined. We are in breakout rooms. That's why you don't see anyone. And what they're doing in breakout rooms is what we saw is we started a drama. Can you hear me? If you could just give a sign to say that you're hearing me. I won't put you in the breakout rooms right now, but I'll tell you what's happened so far. Okay? So if you can just Penka and Donatello, and if you can Eva, thank you, give us some signal of life. That's great. So what we did was we started a drama which was based on. We started a drama about a helpline, and the people were members of this helpline. I invited them into the role, and we looked at a video of someone had sent in, and we're trying to look at, are they in trouble or not? What's happening with them? And we decided to approach that person called Peter. But then I asked them, we stepped out of role, and I asked them in two small groups to think of an email, think of a person who got in touch with the helpline, a teenager in one of the group and a person in their early 20s in the other group, and try to write 2 sentences from the email that they sent. So the groups will be bringing this back in 1 minute, and I'll just send them a message, and then we'll be continuing together, so you will see what's happening. Okay? No problem, Spenka. It's great you're here. Life doesn't stop when you have to join a Zoom, so I understand that. Great. Welcome back. We are waiting for the other group to arrive. It's going to close in 5 seconds. So great.
They're back.
Everyone's back. Fantastic. So nice to see you all. So I'm really curious. Can you please share? We had a few people join meanwhile. And I was just chatting with Penka, who has some problems with the internet connection, but hope you can hear us, Penka. Can you share from the teenager what is the message that was received? What are the 2 lines that you wrote?
Oh, 2 lines. Sorry, I put it in the chat, and it was more than 2 lines.
Oh, that's sorry. And now you can't get the chat?
Yeah, I can see the chat. I think most of you can. Can't you?
No. It's maybe it's not in the whole group chat, I think.
Okay, I will copy it.
Thank you.
Everyone, let me see. Message everyone. Aha.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Okay, there it is. Email from the teenager. Hi. I feel alone. Nobody understands me. I have problems with my peers in school. People don't understand me. I hate school every day. Some say I'm arty and strange. I give up. I feel depressed and unconnected. I try to solve it somehow, but I don't like to talk to other people. My parents never understand me. They expect so much of me and want me to be perfect. I need help. Okay, thank you. Thank you to group one. That's quite a round message, showing a lot of different problems, but they're all seem connected. What about the other group? What about the other group? I'm curious. What is it that was the young person's message of distress? Can some of you share that? Share what?
Okay, I think I can, yeah, but we haven't written that down. We've just discussed the lines. So the line would go, should I stay or should I go? Is there a community or a kind of shelter to join to find some peace and help? And the problem was my parents keep on fighting, and the atmosphere at home is really, really stressful and distressing.
Okay, thank you. That's great. Thank you for devising those. And I'd really like if you can bear with me. I thought it would be really nice to just do one more step. Okay, and what I'd invite you to do is I could invite you to try out what it would be like to talk to one of these people, and I know it would be best to talk to both, but I'll make a decision now. Let's check how could this person from the helpline talk with this teenage boy or girl?
No.
How hi Manolis. I'll just mute you. I think you're not talking to us. Anyway, could we try it out? Would someone play the role of the person from the helpline talking to this teenager? And I would be the teenager, and let's just check what and how this person needs to do when they're talking to this young person. Will someone go for it?
I can try if I can.
Yeah, of course you can, Lucia. Any advice to Lucia? What do you think she should be careful about when she's talking to this teenager, well, it will have to be a boy now for just the sake of simplicity. Any advice to her?
Yeah. I would tell her or him, first of all, to speak with his parents, because they are the most trustable people, and see what they recommend them to do, or to talk with a teacher who might understand him or her.
Okay,
and
let's try that. Let's try that out. Don't tell us, Lucia. We'll try it out in an improvisation. Okay. I will be the teenager, and you will be the person from the helpline. And we'll improvise. Is that okay?
Okay.
Should we go for it?
Yeah.
Let's give this person a name. Let's call him Ben. Okay, Ben is the teenager. So I am Ben. I wrote to the helpline.
Hello, Ben. Hello, I'm happy to talk to you. How do you feel?
Okay.
Are you sure? Because you don't seem so convinced. You're okay. Also because if you phoned us, maybe you might need something from us.
Yes, well, I wrote in my email. It's not so good at school, and it's also sorry, Dad, I'm studying. I'm studying. My parents as well. There's a lot of they just want me to study really well, and it's really hard.
Oh, are they so strict? Are your parents strict?
Well, they really want me to. I think they just want the best for me, but it's so difficult.
But don't you like studying?
It's okay.
It's
It's
okay.
hard.
Is there any subject you like more than others, more than the others?
I do like drawing, but then there is not so much time to do that. And my parents say, it's more important to study for the maths and the history, and it's
That's right. I mean, studying mathematics or studying language is very important, but if you want to draw, I mean, after you finished your homework, why? What I think your parents can't tell you anything about that, can't complain because you've done your homework. Have you ever tried to talk to them about your passion?
I tried to talk to my dad, but I'm not sure. I think he doesn't. I showed him one of my drawings, and I don't think he liked it, so I didn't want to show more.
But the most important thing is that you like your drawings. I mean, if your parents don't like your creations, the important thing is that they let you your time to dedicate to your interest. And I mean, if you do your homework and your school duty is fine, why don't they give you time to dedicate to your interests?
Yeah.
No?
Yes.
Aren't you convinced?
I am. Okay. Sorry, I'll stop there, Lucia. Great. Thank you so much. And I'll just bring everyone back into that discussion. So this was just an experiment. Thank you so much, Lucia, for going for it. I'm curious what you thought. What is really useful help, or what's useful as a help for someone else? What can help them in this? Okay, this is just an example we're looking at, but so what do you think?
I think it's really difficult to help. Maybe
Why?
questions, because you need to show acceptance, but it's the first time you meet, so you know nothing about the other, and you don't know the level of the trust you can have or you can give. I would go for more maybe questions towards the teenager, but I know it's really difficult. Like a piece of advice, sometimes it's just a piece of nothing. It can't. It takes time to know each other and to really find out the way to get closer to the person in need.
Of course, I mean, this was such an impossible situation. It was, thank God, it was fictional. So, so it was really impossible, and I'm so grateful for Lucia to try it out. But as you say, I was.
Which way?
Manolis, are you talking to us?
Yeah. Καλά πήγες.
Okay. Just listen to a little bit of some thoughts there, but you're saying that actually sometimes it's difficult to balance between if you don't know enough and how to give advice to others. So what is you're asking and what is that you're saying, and I think that's really difficult. Anything else? Anything else?
I would like. Can I just say that I think
Yeah, Monica.
maybe that's very important for the young person. There is actually somebody who would like to listen to him or her, and that's the first moment when this pressure can go down, and maybe sometimes it's maybe enough because what is the feeling of people, not just young people, that nobody it's here for us sometimes. So maybe this is first step.
So actually you're saying just someone listening to them and caring about them is a really important step, and that they're feeling this. I mean, I think I really got that from Lucia, this attention and this kindness or helpfulness. Lucia, you wanted to say something.
Yes, Adam. You were saying, how can you? What can you do? Because the situation. Being on the other side of a helpline is difficult. Because it's difficult to give recommendations to people we don't know. So what can we do to make the guy feel welcomed and safer? Maybe proceeding by trial and error. We try to ask questions, we see how they respond, and maybe try find another way, ask another question. And as the other girl has just said, it's important for them to see that someone is listening to them. So just making them feel we're with them and they can count on us.
Yeah.
In some way, and may feel them relaxed.
Okay. So just thank you so much for that. I'll just stop with this sort of mini drama lesson here. I basically just did it, this sequence, just to sort of allow us to reflect on the structure of how how it went. So I'll stop there. Hello, and I'll just come back for a moment to this. So we started out with this video, and actually we didn't start out with that. We started out with a sort of contracting. So I told you we're going to do a story, and I also told you that we are going to be making the story together. And I invited you into it, and that was a sort of contracting. So contracting basically is the participants really need to know what they're taking part in and what's expected of them. So I said, just join in when you're feeling comfortable about it. And I think that's really important, especially if as a teacher, you start to do something different in your classroom. I think, again, you're starting to use drama. I think it's really important to, if you haven't been using it or the group is new to it, or you have been using, but it's the first time the group is meeting you, then it's really important for them to understand what are the rules of this engagement, or what is the invitation towards them. And I think this needs to be what's expected of them, especially in a situation very often drama is doing something different than what's expected of the students normally in our school systems. So normally you are asked to sit in silence and listen to the teacher who is going to tell you everything. And the drama sort of flips it around, and actually the teacher is asking you questions and is inviting you to do the thinking and the saying and the work. So that needs to be framed somehow. So that's contracting, setting up, framing. Then I went into a whole group improvisation, very basic, a sort of meeting where I was putting you into role, not a very deep role, just sort of framing the problem. And I think that's really important because I'm using a sort of frame here. And I think that's a really useful concept. So it would be very different if I showed you the video without putting you into role. Because putting you into role, it puts you into a perspective. So you are members of the helpline, and that's how you're looking at this video. It's a little bit different. It's not a huge thing, but it's a little bit different than you would be doing it sort of out of role or not in a framed way. Then it would be a really boring video. It might be even now, but that changes the dimension. And I think frame in this sense is something that can be very well used in the classroom and in teaching. You can put people into a specific frame and ask them to look at a material in a different way. So, if I'm saying, illustrator colleagues, we have to make some good images out of this novel. Please help me. Let's collect those moments in the novel that you think would make really good posters or images for the book or something. So, I'm teaching literature, but actually by putting them in a sort of frame and putting them in a situation, I'm giving them a specific task. So we are looking for images. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Please get back to me. Thanks, Agi. So actually, that's useful to do. Then I showed you a video, which also sort of underlined the fiction because it was me in the video as a fictional role. It was a sort of teacher in role that I was using. Teacher in role as a scene, sharing a problem. But I offered that to bring in a problem. The problem here is really not the question whether there's something wrong with Peter. The real problem behind it is, how do we see if someone needs help or not? That's the question. That's my focus in this drama lesson. How do we see and how do we help to someone who is in trouble or who needs help? That's the question I wanted to approach or think about in a playful way. Okay, so that's at the center. So it doesn't really make a difference, if they say, and it's happened that there's nothing wrong with this guy. It's just early morning, as someone here in the group said as well. They got out of bed and just leave them alone. That's completely okay as well, because actually then I'm inviting you to work in groups out of role and create a problem that's interesting for that group. So that's why I offered you a little bit of material. I just gave you the age, but I allowed you to bring in a problem. I also created a space. What is the problem? Oh, now I'm using my hands like Trump. Sorry. I asked you to bring in a problem yourself, and that's because then we can look at how to help someone with that sort of problem. Of course, it can offer a challenge as well. So you can bring in a problem that's really too huge for us to approach. But then because of the groups, I have a choice between those problems. Are you with me so far? Does that make sense? Okay. And then we looked at, I chose one of these, and we looked at how to respond to this problem. We're not going very far. We're just trying it out a little bit. And that's where this pair improvisation, where I took the difficult role of playing the teenager, and I very consciously took that because I want you to think about how to help others. And that's why I'm putting you into the role of the helper rather than the problem who is in need of help. So that's basically the the very simple structure we are going through in this simple drama lesson. But I think actually I'm using this structure because if you go into drama lessons, it's really useful to have these points. It's really useful to have some sort of contracting, then a way of bringing in some question through a specific, a problem or a question through a very specific example, and then giving space for us to explore that practically, like in an improvisation, in a group, in a pair improvisation, like I did with Lucia, and also allow us some time to reflect on it as well. Okay? So that's where we got to. And I'm just asking you if you have any comments or thoughts on that. If anyone would like to come in with any critique, any question, any comment on what we are doing so far.
I really liked the idea of writing 2 sentences because it was like a step forward to really imagine the situation or to really put into context. So for me, it was a nice twist to the exercise.
I think it's something. I mean, it's a very simple thing. Sort of, we often call it writing in role, and actually, you don't have to go completely into role, but you really need to take on the point of view, the perspective of a different person. So sometimes they use it in language teaching, but I think actually in teaching history or literature or anything like that, writing from the perspective of someone else than myself can create some, on one hand, some playfulness into the writing task, which sometimes becomes quite boring. But actually, also, making it playful, but also we're having to use a different register, a different type of language that we would use. Sometimes it can be more formal, sometimes it can be much more informal. So how does a child write? Going into that with teenagers might be quite fun. What's the note the mother leaves to their son when or their daughter when she's leaving home early, or from something from a novel could be the same. So I quite like that, but it makes it, the other thing for me as a drama teacher is very important, that it makes it very specific. So if you write it down, it makes it very specific and tangible for you. And for all of us. So I think that's why it's quite useful to every time not just talk about it generally, but bring back an image, bring back a piece of writing, bring back 3 ideas, 1 sentence, 2 sounds, whatever, but just make it very specific what they're bringing back. It makes them work in a different way if there's a specific request towards the group. The task becomes clear as well. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Agi, for that comment. Okay. So anything else? Good. That means I'm being very clear. So I just wanted to share some of the key elements that we found here. We're looking at the structure, but what's behind it is sort of the idea in drama to have some sort of frame, a task and a role to offer to the group, and a role that offers them a specific perspective on whatever we are exploring. And what we are exploring is, on one hand, the specific content, it could be a novel, but also it also needs to be at the same time a problem as well, a focus problem. So what is helping others? That's behind my thinking. But actually, the problem I'm sharing is, does this guy need help, or are they playing a practical joke on me? So that's the two are absolutely connected, but I have a sort of central focus question behind me, which I'm aware of. So I'm using situation in it, which is absolutely central to drama. And actually, all elements can be the starting point of drama. I'll just come back to that in a minute. But what I'm engaging is making fiction. And I think that's really important, that I'm inviting the group for us to create, to make the fiction together. For example, you were making the fiction when you invented the letters or the email we got. You created a role for this, a problem, a situation for this fiction, for the story that we could go on with. So I'm inviting people to come in with that. But what I wanted to say about situation is situation has specific people in a specific space at a specific time with a specific problem. And I think that's really important to remember these four things, because actually, when you are looking at any subject matter, be it in language learning, be it in literature or history or physics, if you can start building a situation based around it, then that really gets people involved, because situation always has some sort of human problem at the center. So, okay, I'll say something. I might give you a very, very stupid example. We would be studying physics chemistry, sorry, and the creation of plastic. And, the first plastic bag, what was the reaction on the people when someone walked down the street with a plastic bag in their hand? Can we just look at these people and create an image of what their face looked like when they saw the plastic bag? I have nothing, I almost failed in chemistry, so I know nothing about that. But what we're trying to do is look at the implication, the social implication for people of this element of chemistry, how plastic changed the world, basically. It did. We are looking at the trouble now, but at the time they were not thinking about that. They're thinking, fantastic, we've created a new material which is so cheap and so good to use in everything. But we're looking at the people in a situation, a specific situation. Or, we're reading a piece of literature in our literature classroom, and I say, okay, so what does the room look like that this discussion is happening in? Okay, then we're looking at the space element of situation, and we could be making, we could be drawing things that are on the wall. We could be setting up the space, actually, practically, to look at that. I had my wife was doing while she was a literature teacher, she was doing a project on Anne Frank, the Diary of Anne Frank. Her students wanted to read that. And she started out by trying to, when they're looking at it, trying to set that space up. What would that space be like? It really helped them, the students, to connect to the story as well, because they're really looking at the specific details of the space. Now, that's another element of the situation. So in the previous example, I talked about people, specific people looking at the plastic. We can start from there. Or in the second example, I was looking at space. We could be looking at the space. Or we could be looking at something else, a problem. Or we could be playing with time. After Odysseus left, blinded the giant and left him there, and they escaped I'm not, sorry from the Greeks for this example, escaped. What happened in that cave 5 days later? So I'm playing, with the time element of situation and looking at after or before. The same thing we can do with any piece of literature or history. What happened in the same place or with the same people? What happened 5 days, 1 year before or 1 year after that? And of course, when we're moving in time, we're looking at the causes, if we're going back in time, or we're looking at the consequences, if we're going forward in time. So actually, it's really useful element to look at. Okay? Does that make sense? Can anyone give an idea or have an idea of what could be done, with any of these elements, where you could use them next week in your class? Don't worry about it. Yeah. Karula, go on, please. Yeah.
We can use it in any task we teach. There's a story, and then I ask my students to give a different end of the story. So they try to think what would happen in a few days, like you said, in a month, or would it be easy for them to leave, or I don't know what.
Great.
Yeah. The consequences, as you said, yes, it's a critical moment in the story. You have to say the consequences too.
Yep.
All the stories don't end with a happy end. So there must be a prize for the next days or months that they will come. So a few days ago, I gave them a story about the pirate finding a treasure in an island. So, and I said, what if some guys went to the island 2 days before and took the treasure? What would the pirate think then? Or would he trace them to find who were the guys that took him the treasure? Tell me, what do you think? What would you do? And then they started telling me the ideas. And it was very nice because every child got to this point and everyone wanted to say a different story about this simple task.
Lovely. That's really nice. And I think just using the imagination and giving something to trigger the imagination, like a treasure that draws us in. Of course, we'll have ideas. Now, I'm giving you this image to trigger your imagination. Okay? Can you see these shoes?
Yes. I think you have a monument in Hungary with these shoes. And
yes. Oh, yes. My favorite monument.
Yes, mine too.
Budapest. It's a very, very touching thing. But I'm just curious, what are the first things? Karula thinks of the monument in Budapest, but what are the first words that come to your mind when you look at these shoes?
Well, I see paint on the shoes.
Yep, paint.
Paint, yes. And I think some worker took them off to rest his feet.
Yep. Working and rest are the words. What else? What else?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind when I saw those shoes is the Van Gogh painting. That is
say more.
Amsterdam.
Say more. Say more. Which painting? I can't.
It's called the big shoes. It shows a pair of shoes used. They very old and ruined, and they conveys the idea that the person who used them was a worker, was of low class, and maybe he was exploited, he was poor, and he had a bad life. So poverty and exploitation, hard work, and humble people, and so on.
Thank you, Lucia. Is it Eva? Sorry, I'm very bad with the Cyril alphabet. She's story with pictures. Who has lost his shoe? Is that, sorry, Eva, is that, please say your name.
Yes, my name is Eva.
Eva.
It's right, yes. Sorry, I can't talk right now because I'm with my baby.
Yes, it's
but
great
I
you're
can
here.
write and listen to your stories.
So, and you're saying it's these questions that come to your mind about the shoe.
Baba.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, I can write some questions for the picture, and I think the kids can start telling the story and think about it.
Great. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So it can be a beginning to some questions and developing a story around this image.
Yes, and developing the character, what problem does he had, so he lost his shoes, and
yes.
So.
Great. Thank you, Eva. And Monica says, how far is the water? Say more, Monica.
It was also the first question that I have in my mind when I just saw the picture, and I think it's a really, really amazing impulse to start something in medias res, even. So I can really imagine to build the story with the children in drama lessons with the picture, definitely.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. So I just thought let's look a bit further. Let's go a bit further. And very often, drama teachers and myself, we use images. And I'll just look at a few forms of drama, and let's think about. These are forms that we could use. There are the shoes. So how would we connect the two? What sort of specific task would we give with these forms to our class? So one of this is of course called still image or freeze frame. It's like a photograph. Now, what's specific about still image or freeze frame is that it's a realist moment. It's something that's actually happening, and it's not a it's like a real photograph. That's one of the sort of images, type of images that can be used. Another type of image is a statue. Now, that statue is different in a way. I mean, these are nuances, but I think it's really useful to think about that because you're thinking about the nuances of form. And if you want to do anything artistically well, then you need to think about the nuances. And they're actually, when you're doing it in a more nuanced way artistically, then it becomes more nuanced pedagogically or educationally as well. So statue is different in the way that it's actually not focusing on the situation where the photograph is looking at, but it's looking at the specific role or character. So if I'm asking the students to make a statue of Hamlet, then I'm focusing on Hamlet. But if I'm asking them to make a still image of the discussion between Hamlet and his father, the ghost, well, it's quite a different situation, but then that's looking at all elements of the situation. So we can be thinking of where and, you know, what's happening there, what's the surrounding around that, and all sorts of things. But talking about depiction is, again, another type of image to use. And this is more like a painting. So it can be more stylized or more condensed. It doesn't need to be so realistic. It's more like a painting compared to photograph. And of course, we know the difference between the two. It still can be still realistic, but we can say, please try to bring in anything that has any significance in that. So if you're making a painting of Hamlet and his father talking, then you're asking them to, you know, what does the ghost look like in this painting? And then they're already interpreting what the ghost means, rather than sort of practically thinking about how to show a ghost. I don't know. Does that make sense, or is it too detailed?
So is the painting, sorry, so is the painting the same thing as still image?
It's not completely the same. It's more stylized. So a painting can be more stylized.
Okay.
It can be more symbolic. And you can play with elements like, you know, these classic paintings, you know, classic painting forms when they're bringing in elements into not a landscape, but what's it called? I can't remember. When you have the
portrait,
not a yeah, but even the portrait. So with a portrait, they put a book there, which actually explains a lot about the person, or they put something in the background that shows, you know, a sword on the wall, or something like that, which sort of condenses the image and carries much more meaning. So that's more, you know, the carries, or you can condense more of the complexities of the meaning of the situation into it, and it's less practical than the still image.
Okay.
So these are different types of images, and what I'd be curious, how, you know, what sort of task would you give about these shoes in relation to images? Which one would you ask, and what would the task of the students be? So if you're not just asking them to make a story of whose these shoes, you know, whatever, what is it? This is the shoe we are showing. What's the specific task, you know, containing some sort of image? Karula, what's your idea?
I think what you were trying to describe before, it's about the art, is impressionism. And I would ask him, who do you think wears? What type of profession do you think hides behind the shoes?
Okay. And what are you asking them to do? What's the specific form you're asking them to answer that question with?
If any related to the family does that job, and to describe us what are the tools that he uses to go to this job, specific job.
Okay.
Because
so you're
I have
saying
little kids, I have second grade, I can't tell them a different version of a story.
Yeah.
So now because we're learning the professions that people do for living, so it would be a nice way to guide them to this area.
You could be saying, make a statue of that profession.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so you are making, you know, you're making statue, you're focusing on the person, and the statue can also have the tools in their hands. I think the tools are really helpful as well, as you say.
And also to talk about the difficulties of this profession. And how hard it is for the specific person to work in that job.
Yeah, thank you. Any other tasks? Thanks, Karula, for that. Any other tasks that come to your mind?
May I? Hello?
Yes, Calliope, go on.
Okay, so as they are boots, I would ask my pupils where they could travel with. So, and the extra information would be that should be a country. So to talk to me about countries that they should wear those boots to travel. And so that could be in geography, but maybe. So the task could be describe countries or places that you could travel and you should wear those boots.
Yep. Great.
And that could be in the material of geography. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm just thinking and translating it in because we're looking at images. I would, maybe I would translate that to, can you create a still image of where these shoes, which country would these shoes go? And in the image or the depiction, please put in different elements of that country so the others in the group can find out which country it is. Something like that, making a game out of it. Where would you need these shoes? What sort of activities could they be used in? And which countries they are. Now I'm wandering around the place. It's not specific enough. So, when I'll be talking to students, I need to make it very specific. So now I was just brainstorming. I think I would choose, please show one activity that can be done in these shoes. And the others have to guess in which country could that happen. Okay? So I'm asking them to show a specific activity. And the others need to bring in their knowledge of geography, where that can be, in which countries can you climb a mountain or walk in a desert or something like that. I don't know. Okay, so still image could be used. That any other ideas?
Okay, it might be too vague, but I think I would ask them to make a still image about the situation which made the person leave their shoes.
Very good, Agi. Thank you. I really like that. You're using now what we're talking about, the time element. So, show us what happened before they took off their shoes or the shoe was taken off them. What happened 5 minutes before the shoe got into this place? So, and they're making an image of that. I think that's really useful. And, you can use these different elements at the same time. So time is very useful. We can play with time because it gives us, causes and consequences. So that's really great. Eva is saying that you can, create an imaginary character with those shoes and show us this character, make a depiction, show us, squeeze in different things from this person's life into one image. It's like a painting, so it might have different elements, scenes from their life, what happened before they got here to this point and took their shoes off. Could be. Okay, thank you. I'll just get back here. Sorry, I just keep packing these things, these different images there. Now, if you have an image, sorry to get into such detail, but I think actually I will get on to different forms as well. But I quite like using very simple forms and using them with more depth. So, what can you do when you have an image or a statue? What can you do with it to activate it? Not just ask them to create the image, and actually, I think that's really key to any teaching, is that what the students offer, I need to use it further. I need to do something with it because otherwise, they won't feel, that their ideas are being used, and then they won't invest so much in it. So if they are investing their imagination and energy into it, then I need, as a teacher, as a good teacher, I need to use what they're offering me and develop it further. So they've created images of what happened 5 minutes before this person took their shoe off. And now, what do I do with this image? I can thought track, which is basically put the thoughts in their head, make them loud. What is, in this image, what are they thinking of? It's what Eva says here, to give them a voice. I think it's, what are they saying? That could be one thing. Or what are they thinking? And give that voice, what is in their head. We could also rework the images. So how does this develop? So this was 5 minutes ago. What does this image look like if 2 minutes again have passed? So we are reworking the image a little bit, changing it a little bit, not because we're saying it's not right, but we're bringing in something that changes the image. What would this image look like if someone's standing and making the photograph, the photographer is there? How does this image change? And stuff like that can really help us reworking, because then we are looking at what's important in the content. How is it developing? How can we make it more powerful? How can we express it better? Does that make sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're making a statue of the profession, as Karula said. And I'm not saying with this dressing up characters, I'm not saying, take their clothes off. But actually, I'm saying, Hamlet, sorry, now I'm going back to the secondary idea. Hamlet, what's he dressed in? Let's have the details. What do his clothes look like? And not just, is it jeans or not, but, are there any marks? Are there any signs of what he's been doing in the last days on it? Are there any food stains on it, or any, if we're going with the work people, as Karula was said, what are the signs? Is there a little bit of blood on it somewhere? Have they cut their finger while they're working? Or so we're bringing detail in, which allows us to, for example, talk about the dangerous aspects of different work, different jobs. But we are actually just dressing up characters, which kids love to do anyway. The other thing we can do is contextualize them. So if we're bringing back a statue, for example, a builder who was wearing this shoe, we can start devising, creating the context around them. So where is this builder? Let's put marks there. This can be done in many ways. We can either stand in and show it so other people can join in the image. We can put pieces of paper to mark the things around them. But actually what we're doing is we're creating a social and material surrounding, which again makes the image more complex. So if we put in someone who is watching Hamlet talking to his father, what is that person thinking of? What does this mean for the country? If we put this image that they've created so if this would appear in a newspaper, what would the people say about it? So do you get what I'm talking? So the context can really add the social aspect of things. And of course, as Eva is saying, also the relationship with other people. So how do other people think about it? But also, how does it connect or disconnect with other people? This we have already done. It's speaking, but it's not moving. Or it can be moving. So we're starting to move the statue or the still image, but it's only doing one significant action. So what is the one thing that it's doing? Then it's a choice of significant action. I think that's important there. Or we can set it into motion. So we are starting an improvisation based on this situation. Very often when I actually want to get into an improvisation, I very often start by giving a task of creating a still image because that's much easier to create. And when they already have the still image, I can say, could we get that moving? And could we start the situation? Let's just try out what happens. So there's less pressure on the participants who might not be, I would say, let's do an improvisation. They wouldn't know where to start. But this is giving them a focus, a point, a starting point in their improvisation. And then we can always stop in 10 seconds if it's not going well and say, oh, really? Yeah. Thanks for trying that out. What do you think we need to know to be able to work that improvisation? What should we decide? So we set the sort of elements of the situation more clearly for everyone. Okay? And of course, we can say in a similar way, we're not starting an improvisation, but the image created, for example, the still image, we say this is one point of a story. Please create the image that was before this, an hour before this, and another image that was an hour after this. Okay? So we are creating a whole story with 3 images, but the starting point is 1 image. Okay? So that's another possibility. And the other thing is, it's like adding the elements of the situation, is adding, it's like making a dense painting of it, adding why this is happening. So, for example, very simply, if we are saying it's a construction worker, I'm just going back to Karula, why did he choose this job? Can we make, can we show in this image why this person chose this job? And we can add that and make the image more dense. Or we say, okay, we're showing this construction worker. What are the dangers of being a construction worker? Can we show that in the image? And then we're talking about different jobs and work, but we're adding it to the image. So we can show someone cutting their arms off and bleeding, or whatever the dangers are, walls falling on them. It's a lot. It can also be a lot of fun. But of course, it can be much simpler and more social as well. You cannot receive your salary or something like that. And what we can also add is explanations of the image. So if we're creating, sorry to go with these examples, but I think it just makes it simpler. Hamlet and his father. That's the image we have. Calliope, she's fallen out. We have that image, and we say, this is a painting in a museum. What does the sign beside the painting explain? What's happening on the painting? So actually, we're explaining the image, but in a dense form, not just talking about it, but writing that museum sign that's in the image. I think the whole idea why I'm saying all this is, if you get your students to create something, just use it, use what they've created and develop it further. And there's so many different things you can do with it, because then they will feel it's valued and it's their idea that's important and that's guiding you in what you're developing. And I think that's really useful for students to feel like that, because they don't always feel like that in school. Yeah. Now, I just thought it would be useful to look at the other forms that are used. These are conventions that are used in drama. I don't know if you know all of these. Please comment on which are the ones that you know, or which are the ones that you don't know.
I don't know, marking the moment, sound scope, and conscious LA, yeah.
Thanks, Aggie.
Just
yeah.
get the ball rolling.
Yes, I think that's really good. You're doing that. Sorry, I just so I mean, creating scenes is quite simple. We can ask students to create a scene from something. You know, we're listening to a story, and then create that in a scene. I think it's also very useful to give constraints. So you have how much time you have. It's a 1-minute scene. You know, only 3 sentences can be said in that scene. These constraints actually really help students to focus. So it's really useful sometimes to give them constraints that help them to do something, but that are also comfortable. Teacher in role, we talked about hot seating. We looked at last time a lot. Marking the moment is something that you can use on one hand when you look at a scene, and you can say, you know, what was the most important, you know, what made Hamlet decide to pursue what his father is saying. Let's look at the scene, and you know, which was the sentence the father says. But also it can be seen in a more general way, and say, you know, why is Hamlet so intrigued with trying to, you know, find out what's happening with his father? What happened in the previous years that is pushing him towards doing that? Okay, so actually looking for significance and looking for significant moments or significant events in the past. Soundscape is something we tried out last time, and it didn't work on Zoom at all. But I love to use it live. Soundscape is creating the sounds of that. So we have Karula's student created the construction workers image, and I invite all of the group, you know, if you'd create the sounds of the construction, you know, where is this worker working? Let's just create the sound of that and the place with the sounds. So we can go there, we can start doing that. And then making all the sounds of the machines and people shouting to each other, pass me the hammer, or whatever. So we're creating a soundscape that is a sort of immerses us a little bit. It's situational. Karula, go on. What were you going to say?
Or we could drop something of the tools that the worker, the specific worker, yes, like you said, to make the sound, to make them hear what is everyday life in the workers from morning till the time he gets off from work.
Absolutely.
What does he do if the tools drop down to the ground? What sound do they make? A bucket of paint, for example.
Absolutely.
How heavy it is to lift it. All this.
Yeah, it could be the sounds of the work, or you know, you could either have a thematic choice about that.
Yes,
what is the worker hearing? You know,
yeah.
what are the sounds that he or she is hearing during the working day? We could create those sounds. Or what are the sounds that he is giving? You know, I don't know, and make a
the effort he
piece
makes
of music.
to do all this.
Or we could be using the tools he's using and try to create music out of the, you know, pieces of whatever, wood, whatever, and create some music and some rhythm and make, you know, have a construction workers orchestra or something like that, and create that sound and play around with those instruments.
The other thing we could do also is drop the shoes so as to hear the sound of the shoes falling down to the earth.
Absolutely. That could also be done. And conscience alley is like moments of decision. It's usually when one person is making a decision, then the sounds, the different sounds going on in his head, the different sentences can be sort of highlighted by the group. What are the thoughts that are circulating, and that's the sort of conscience alley going through from one point to the other. And actually, you can do. Does he decide to do that? If he did, does he go there? So actually, he's making the steps, and whenever he's hears something that's making him go towards that, then he's taking a step, then he's coming back. So you can play around with how to use it, depending on what your what you want to do. I've just put a link in here where you can find a lot of these conventions written down. Dramaresources.com is actually quite a well usable website, and the strategies, they're much more there. I didn't want to bring them all in. The different forms of that can be used. I myself really like the ones that are more creative, but very often we use a lot of sort of reflective forms that are more cognitive. I always find that, for example, creating a soundscape or creating a piece of music together actually engages us more in the situation, and the problem has more of a felt effect on us. And I'm usually trying to push for this felt effect, experiential effect more. Rather than the cognitive one, which happens all the time. So that's important. And I just wanted to go, sorry for talking so much, but I just wanted to go, just discuss a little bit of not what you do, but also how you do it, how you facilitate it. And I think that's important to be aware that it's a bit different from the usual teacher mode. Of course, I don't know what sort of teachers you are, and it might be very close to how you usually work, but it's a bit distant from the teacher role that's expected mostly from teachers, at least in Hungary, I could say. It might be very different in Greece or Italy, but anyway, one thing that's really useful for me is based on Dorothy Heathcote's idea of the crucible paradigm. The crucible is the sort of melting pot, she's saying. And the crucible paradigm is what she says is, we have this big melting pot of ideas, and I'm bringing and throwing in what I know, and the students are also bringing in and throwing in what they know. So actually, we're using all our ideas and we are stirring it around and trying it out in the drama. And I think it's more than a practical thing; it's more a way of thinking, because it actually really forces me to try to listen for what the students are adding to our thinking and really value that. What are they saying, and really listening to them. And I think that's really important, because I'm thinking of myself as a facilitator, someone who's trying to make it easy, someone who's trying to make it happen, rather than the source of all knowledge. And I think that's really important, because the students have a lot of knowledge, especially if you approach things with the perspective of their real situations, and everyone has experience and knowledge about life. Students have very specific experience about that, and they can really share their thoughts and explore their own thoughts through playing in drama lessons. I think what's also really important is creating a safe environment where people feel safe to share their thoughts. And I think what's really important is that they don't feel judged by the teacher. I'm sure you are not a teacher like that, but students meet a lot of teachers who are testing them all the time. So when they say something, the teachers decide whether that's the right answer or the wrong answer. Now, moving into a different mode of being is difficult for the students, So you really need to push for them to have a structured but a safe environment to speak on and not feel judged. And if they have a safe environment, then they can take responsibility, and you can allow them to take responsibility for their thinking. So very often when you know, I work with new groups very often, and sometimes students would test me, which is very natural. I think I was a student like that myself. So the students would test me by saying something funny or a joke or something like that, which is quite okay. But very often in a new group, I would ask, is that a joke, or are you offering that seriously? Sometimes it's happened to me that actually I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. I just didn't understand it. But just taking them seriously and sort of taking responsibility for the situation really helps. I said, okay, if it's a joke, it's okay, but I'm really curious about your real thoughts about this, what we're talking about. So they're putting jokes aside. What do you think about this situation? And this really allows me to get into, move out of the mode that's very natural for students because they're protecting themselves. Anyway, Karula, go on.
It usually happens with the classes that are the 5th or the 6th grade. Yes, they challenge you, they put a topic, they throw it, and they expect from you to catch it and start talking. And the thing we do in these situations is to do the flipped classroom, where the teacher makes a topic on the table, and the children are grouping themselves, and they try to prepare their answers. And then the result is phenomenal. You don't expect what ideas come to the table and how far they can go this topic you give them from the first sight. Either it is a video or a picture that we did today, and every student has something to say and add to the initial topic. And that encourages the students to go out of their comfort zone and to express themselves in a way that you couldn't do it in the normal teaching day.
Absolutely. And what you're talking about basically is about giving them the responsibility to teach.
Yes.
And that's all about responsibility. And so it's a wonderful thing to do as well. And of course, there are lots of aspects to it, how to do it well. But it's actually, you're saying, teach me, and you're also saying, often
they
it's more
the teacher.
And
they take full control of the classroom.
Very good.
And they enjoy it.
Yeah. Two more things here on the list, and then I'll just shut up. Is actually when you're facilitating, I think it's really important that you're modeling behavior. Well, every time you're working as a teacher, you are modeling the behavior you expect. And actually, just things like listening to people is an attitude that you are showing in a very practical way values to the group. You're saying that it's a value. People are valuable, contributions are valuable. I'm going to listen to that. And actually making them aware of that is really important. But actually it's really important to know that you are modeling what you're asking from them. And of course, as drama teachers, I think it's really useful if you're really aware of how you're using sign, how you're using body, how you're using language, how you're behaving in the classroom, how are you using space, where do you place yourself in the classroom, how does that work? Of course, often we are very limited because the classrooms are set up in a specific way. But But I think just becoming aware of that, just looking at the space of the classroom and where you're placing yourself in that is quite an interesting thing. What's the place I like in the classroom, and where can I work from? How does that work? So I think that's interesting as well. Anyway, I'll stop there because it's 3 minutes to 6, at least in Hungary. I know the time is even later in Greece, and I think that's as far as I was trying to get. I will just quickly make a PDF out of this and put it in the chat. Okay, so you can download this presentation as it is. I've just added some resources here with specific drama lessons that you can look at in English. Agi, you can also find some in Hungarian on Insights website. That's here as well. And also the project itself, Academia project, has a website and a repository where you can find a lot of material as well. So that's on, that's the open access repository that's here, the Academia projects. So I'll stop there, and I've talked far too much in this session. I'm just opening the space for your thoughts and ideas, comments.
I would like to thank you for these 2 lessons. I think they've been very interesting and useful for me as a teacher and as a person. And they've given me a lot of hints to improve my teaching and to use drama in education, which is always a fantastic teaching tool, because for all the implications that you've repeated us during these 2 lessons. So Adam, thank you very much for teaching us these wonderful things.
Lucia, that was very kind of you, and if half of that is true, then I'm already a very happy person. Thanks for that. So I'm just sorry. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to upload. It's just uploading the presentation. You can download it as a PDF. So you can look at especially those links, but just go back through it if you want to remember this class. Any thoughts, comments, questions? You're such a wonderful group to work with, and I'm sure we would have got even more people engaged. I hope those who didn't switch their cameras on and remained more quiet in the session also got something out of it. Great you were here, and lovely to see you all. Thank you, and
thank you,
goodbye.
Adam. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
See ya. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.
It was really useful.
Thank you.
Bye.
Excuse me, Adam.
Yes.
Will we be given a certificate of attendance?
Maria. I think Action Synergy, who are coordinating the project, they're doing this.
I think there have to be some implementations in class, but I'm not sure. Costas, I will ask Costas for this. But usually the certifications go with implementations.
Okay.
Okay,
but
thank you.
Again,
I'm not sure, but I will raise this question to my colleague.
And how will I know the answer of Costas?
I will note your name, and we will send you an email.
Okay, thank you very much.
Are you planning to implement it in class?
Yes. I have taken agreements with the University of Florence that I'm going to do an implementation with drama and with gamification. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have this agreement with the University of Florence, and so I'm going to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I took this note down. Okay.
And
Okay,
I've just put the action synergies. Is that right,
Yes.
Maria? The
Yes.
email?
Yes. Perfect. Yes. Yes.
Just
Yeah,
Lucia,
yeah.
get in
For
touch.
any questions or
because
yeah.
there's so many things going on as well. So
Yes.
It's
Okay. Thank you,
it's
Adam.
completely
Yeah.
okay to get in touch if you don't. But also the Florence colleagues can also, I think, you can discuss the implementation
Yes.
and also the certificate, whether you need it, whether it's better for you to get it from Florence or to get an international one that you know. But we'll be very happy to help. If you need it from Insight that you took part in this, then I'm also very happy to coordinate that. But Maria will find out and get back to you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Adam.
Great.
Thank you.
Sylvia, you can also do the same. Yes.
Yes. I was just listening to you, right? And it would be good, yes, if right about the certificate. So, right.
Good.
So just let me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Good night to all of you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Lovely
It
to
was
see you.
wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Great sessions, really. Right.
Thank you.
Keep talking, Adam. It's not. You are a live person, so you must talk, and you are very passionate of what you're doing. You shouldn't stop talking.
It's true.
That's not what my teenage sons say.
Yes,
but it's very kind of you.
But we love to hear you.
Thank you, Karula. It was lovely that you were here, and thank you for everything you've added to it. I think I enjoyed that. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.